ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Kurt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. With that Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis.
Welcome to Season 7, Episode 51 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We are live on this, what do we got? Monday, June 3rd, 2019. This is our live post-game show after Game 4 of the Stanley Cup final game between the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins. Mr. Jeff Ponder and myself, Kurt Price, are here this evening. Bill attended this evening's game, and he may be joining us from his car on the way back to give us.
Bill is on assignment.
Yeah, he's on assignment at Enterprise.
Yes, we have a live reporter at Enterprise,
and we on scene on the scene reporter
on the scene in a Parayko jersey apparently.
Yeah, apparently that he just purchased.
Yeah,
it's like when you go on vacation, you're cold and you buy a sweatshirt.
Yes.
So we're doing this live with no outline, no nothing tonight. Bill is asking for a link. It's right above it's right there, Bill. I'll post it again right there for you, Bill. There you go. Anyway, Blues took this game 4-2 in regulation, and anybody who questioned what the score was going to be tonight should have just looked on my Twitter feed, because I predicted it. I bet the Blues would win, and I bet they win by 2. So
the Blues owe you all the credit in the world.
They do, and Bovada owes me money.
I do love how we opened the show with Kurt was right, everybody.
Well, you know what? I don't say it enough, to be honest. So I was actually for tonight's game. I went saw a couple buddies of mine I hadn't seen in a while. Went to a Shooter's Bar in O'Fallon, Illinois, and so that was a lot of fun. I got a seat at the bar about 6 o'clock and had more than a few beers and some dinner, and it was a good time. So I had a good time. It was a lot of fun, and they played Glory as I was walking out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I watched it at home. I think we'll be going somewhere for Game 5, but the wife and I and the kid until the third period when he passed out. Somehow, my wife and I are sitting on the couch screaming. I'm pacing the floor, and somehow he falls asleep sitting next to my wife. I don't understand it. Yeah. But then again, I don't remember what it's like to be a 6-year-old, I guess. But yeah, we went crazy. We played Gloria. We danced around like idiots. And man, when O'Reilly scored his second goal.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. I threw the pillow in the air. I was punching the couch. It was the weirdest celebration ever.
About the 10:38 mark of the third period. So about 9:22 to go. O'Reilly puts the Blues on top. That was, it was funny because going into the third period when it was tied at 2, I was like, all right. So of course, I'm just thinking about the money I've got wagered on this game. So I was like, okay, all right. So let's see. If we can just get one this period and then get an empty netter at the end, then I'm golden. I'm perfect. And that's exactly what happened. I'm not sure if I should quit while I'm ahead or if I should try this again, because, I didn't bet on Game 1 and they lost. And I did bet on Game 2 and they won. And I didn't bet on Game 3, lost. Bet on Game 4 and they won. Bill has just joined us. He looks like he's in a car. Are you?
And he's staring right at the camera and not focused on the road.
I don't think he's driving.
Clearly not. He's muted. There he goes.
I have all the monies, so I have a self-driving car.
Yeah.
I
That's
totally
how I
believe
could
that.
afford to go to this game.
All right. So Bill Day is on his way back from the game. Who the game tonight? So Bill, tell us what's the scene like down there?
Well, there's heavy traffic getting out of the garage right now. No, it was crazy. We stood for about I don't know, a half hour after the game in front of the in back of the NBCSN people, screaming, going crazy, just having a great time. It was pretty damn amazing, and there was probably my favorite scene of the night. There was a couple that brought their 2-year-old on the shoulders, got him on TV several times, and 2-year-old kid, and that's my parents took me to my first game when I was 2, and I've waited 40 years for this. It's just so amazing.
That 2-year-old got him for free, right?
He should have.
Oh man, listen to that downtown. That's fantastic.
Is Julie
Here.
driving, Bill?
She is.
If you're doing Let's Go Blues, give her Let's Go Blues on the horn.
Yeah. All right, let's go Blues on the horn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a Subaru. What do you expect?
It's good enough. It works.
Oh man. Oh God. So, how long have you boys been on tonight? I missed the start.
You missed the very open. That's about it.
Yeah, we
All right.
just started. Jeff had a Bluetooth issue that we had to work out, but yeah, it was. We haven't been on that long. So you got a jersey tonight?
I did. Unfortunately, they lost my phone number, so they didn't inform us it was ready. So we got added the Stanley Cup final patch to it. So we had to wait for them to get done with that, and they never texted me. So we able to pick it up after the game. So I've got a Parayko jersey now.
Nice.
Hey,
So-
we can go to games together and match.
Yeah.
You guys
I like that.
You guys,
Yeah.
if you stand next to each other, you'd look like a phone number that they say on TV during TV shows.
That's true.
555555.
Hey, this just in. I have a friend that's in a Vegas bar right now. Apparently, they're at Blondie's Bar and Grill in Vegas, and they're cranking Gloria. So good for Blondie's Bar and Grill in Vegas. That's pretty cool.
I heard Gloria a couple times where Bill is.
Yes, multiple times.
You will hear it the entire way home because we have it on repeat.
Yeah, that's same from when I left from the bar. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just absolutely amazing. Yeah, we're gonna Let's Go Blues here.
Nice.
This really does sound like he is like live on the scene, like our in-scene reporter.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you see all the folks walking by. Yeah, you got some media members. People headed back to the hotel.
Bill, give me like a it's mayhem down here in downtown St. Louis.
You need to call somebody over and
Well, like,
Yeah, call over somebody and interview him.
we just turned away from Clark Street, so I doubt we're going to get that opportunity again. I almost did that. I almost asked if anybody wanted to be on Let's Go Blues Radio Live.
Well, why the hell didn't you? That's a perfect marketing opportunity, you dick.
I know. They I don't know. They looked like two guys no cup crowd to me, but
what does that even mean? I don't know what that means. Andy Kravitz I can't believe there are 2 games away. I mean, wow, the Blues 2 games. Wow, I can't believe it.
yeah. Yep. God, if somehow they manage to win in Boston on Thursday night,
Oh my God.
I am buying tickets. I have to be there after tonight. It was This was the most emotional I have ever been attending a hockey game. I've been going to games my entire life. I've been to some of the great games. I was at the Igor Kravchuk overtime winner against Detroit in '96. That ended a couple nights later with the Yzerman goal, heartache. A lot of the Blues Blackhawks battles, Blues North Stars in the '80s, and this was by far the most emotional I have ever gotten for a hockey game.
Yeah, Bill, I was at the 2001 Game 4 when the Blues swept the Stars, and I remember just hugging random strangers just all around me, and it was such a big deal. I can only imagine we're 2 rounds later than that, how it was there at Enterprise tonight.
Yes, we made a lot of new friends here tonight. They're the guy sitting directly behind me had a Hartford Whalers Brendan Shanahan captain jersey on, and man, we every time the Blues scored, high fives all around. Everybody in our section was just absolutely just loving it and into it. The city was behind everything tonight. It was just amazing.
How was the concert with Mr. Willie Clark Duncan Michelson or whatever his name was?
Gary Clark Jr. He was pretty awesome. We didn't stick around for the entire thing because we wanted to go check out some of the other stuff going on. I missed the game time. Didn't get a chance to swing by the game time tailgate beforehand. But we were able to get in, and man, the concert was good. He's got a great Texas rock blues sound, and the people loved it.
Bill, I'm guessing you consumed a couple beers tonight. What was your beer of the episode?
My beer of the episode tonight was perennial Saison de Lis. I had multiples of them, and I will be heading to the Friar Tuck's tomorrow to acquire more to consume on Thursday.
There you
It's
go.
a good luck beverage, apparently.
Yes, got to stick with what's working. And as Putty taught us, you got to support the team.
Puck Guy 14 in the YouTube chat says, "Have fun, guys. Enjoy each and every moment of this ride." So,
we will, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Good guy from Teal Town, USA. If you're ever interested in listening to Sharks Radio, make sure you give them a check out. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they do live shows after each and every game, so it's neat to see the feedback and commentary after each game.
Yeah, great guys, and they'll be supplying us with some beer here very soon.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And
Mandarin Melon asks, "What were your 6 beers of the episode?" I only had 4, but they were all Schlafly Pale Ale. As I've said, that's all I've been drinking this playoff run.
I had 4 at Shooters, and it was they had a special on Summer Shandy, $2.50 each, like tall ones. So
nice.
I had 4 of those.
And that's one you can have 4 of safely.
Oh yeah, that's a summer. It's a light lemony summer. I like it. Good beer.
It's like drinking lemonade.
It is.
So should we get into talking about this game a little bit, folks?
Surely.
All right, where do you want to start? How about let's get the negative out of the way right away here, because I know we all want to talk positive for the most part. So the Blues had that insane pressure in the second period. 3 of us were even messaging each other, talking about how that's one of the best sequences we've seen from this team all playoff, and a draw penalty ever. Yeah, I mean that was phenomenal. They get a power play out of it, and it goes to shit.
Yep.
That was one of the most demoralizing things I've seen from this team all playoff.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it at the bar. It was we at the time it was like decline the penalty. Yeah, we decline the power play because the power play sucks. It's not good, and we've allowed 4 shorthanded goals in the playoffs this season so far. It's just it's a mess. and it has taken momentum away from the team much more than it has helped us.
Yeah, and that's after the game. I was saying, to Julie that I've been
Did we lose Bill?
poking shorthanded goal that completely turns the series, and thank God it didn't turn this game, because man, that was definitely demoralizing. And I'll tell you, the observation from where we sat, nobody was moving their feet on the power play.
No.
It was like they were relying on the defensemen to do all the puck movement. Nobody moved their feet off the draw. Closest to us at the beginning of that power play, Tarasenko just stood there, didn't support anything. And then by the time it gets to the point where who was it? Not McAvoy, Carlo pinched up. Pat Maroon, Ryan O'Reilly Ryan O'Reilly was skating at least, but Pat Maroon was just drifting through the neutral zone. Not any kind of urgency. It was, very disheartening.
Yeah, that when that happened, like I said, we'd all been messaging each other all game, and you even said in the little group chat, who's to blame for that? Maroon, O'Reilly, and I think you were getting to the same thing I responded with, that everybody. I mean, that was just a piss poor effort by the Blues after seeing so much momentum gained from the pressure they were putting in the zone to cause a penalty. And like Kurt said, everybody's even kind of thinking, they're doing just fine 5-on-5. Let's just, somebody punch somebody in the back of the head and get a penalty and even it up. It's terrible, because then they came out and almost right away they lost that momentum.
I told the guy in the picture, I said that if we keep it 5-on-5, we're gonna win this game. I said, I don't want a power play. I don't want a penalty kill. Let's just keep it 5-on-5. Yeah,
and everybody knows that in this playoff, you tell somebody something in the picture, it's totally true.
Yeah, and it's true. It turned out to be, and that was in the first and second period. I said that was before this whole fiasco happened with the power play.
So, all right, so that happens. That was demoralizing, and you think, okay, 2-2 game, this is frustrating, but this is something that I've been trying to remind myself, and especially my wife, who's like the most negative person in the world when watching Blues hockey. This team's resilient, something like that happens, past Blues teams, you probably say, well, that's it. They're done. They're going to lose this and go down 3-1, and they're going to lose in Boston. But this isn't past Blues teams. They are resilient. They don't give up. Man, they came out in that third period and played the way that I think we all kind of wanted them to.
That's what the whole being resilient, not giving up, rebounding after something bad happens. That's why I wasn't that down after the 7-2 loss the previous game. I was pissed off at the time and down at the time, but a couple hours later I was like, okay, no, let's play next game. I really, and I was confident about this game. I bet on it. So I was like, I'm not gonna bet on a game I'm not confident about. I thought they were going to win this game. And I've said this online. I said, you're going to see a much better team tonight. Because you have to. And this team has showed in the past, in the playoffs here, that they have rebounded very well from poor performances or just plain losses. They play very well. So,
yeah, that's something. That's something else that I've been talking about with friends too. After the 7-2 loss, even guys who played the game have said to me, hey, they can't come back from that, right? No. I mean, in the playoffs, we've said this before on this show, that you have to have a short memory. You can't go into the next game and say, well, guys, we got killed last game. No, you just got to look at it as one game at a time. And I think that's what they did tonight. They stepped in tonight, even though they got their asses kicked in the last game, and they played their game. They took it to Boston 5-on-5. I think they've outplayed Boston in every game except maybe game 1. Game 3 maybe not too, but not even game 3. Honestly, game 3 was 4 power play goals and 1 empty net goal, right? So Boston didn't dominate 5-on-5 in that game. It was even if you take away those power plays. So it's just this team 5-on-5 can not only hang with Boston but take it to Boston. And I think that seeing the resiliency, seeing the way that they can come out and not take penalties like they did in this game, it's easy to believe they could come out and win the next 2 games.
Yeah, that's what happened in San Jose against San Jose. They had the hand pass, the demoralizing hand pass game that could have killed a number of teams, other teams and if that happened to them. They couldn't recover, couldn't rebound, they would just be gone. Or even past Blues teams, they would just not recover for something like that. And I said it before that when they lost game 1, they lost the first period of essentially a possible 7-period hockey game. So and the first person to win 4 periods wins. So they lost the first one. So
for those of you just tuning in, I know Keith Price is now tuning in. Asked if Bill is driving. No, he is in the passenger seat. So you do not need to worry.
Yes.
How about that start to the game though? Because I mean everybody always says you want to score first and it'd be nice to score early, right? 43 seconds into the game, Ryan O'Reilly on the wraparound. And contributions from Dunn and Stanford. Dunn, who gets plugged into the game for the first time this series, and then Stanford as well. I mean, you can't. This whole storybook thing is kind of like sprinkled in with into this whole thing.
The thing that's surprising to me is I think Stanford has stepped in and played really well. I mean, I've said this before on this show, even when the playoffs started. I like Stanford's game. I think he can have a little bit of Jamal Mayer's stone hands every now and then, but I think overall he's a decent depth guy to have in the lineup. And I mean, they talked about it on the NBC broadcast. The Sanford, Perron, O'Reilly line was a line they had together earlier this year that looked good. And they did again tonight. I thought Sanford looked great in game 3. He was one of the few players that had some jump early and late in the game. So, yeah, Sanford looked great again tonight. I loved his game. And then Vince Dunn, I mean, man, what else can you say about him? He gets the puck to the net, and if you have guys that are crashing, I mean, he's exactly what you need out there for this team.
I went ahead and muted you, Bill, since we're getting a lot of static and traffic noise. So if you want to unmute it, if you want to voice your opinion again on something, okay?
Yeah, Kurt, I just want to wish you luck in post-production.
No, it's fine. It'll. So and you can unmute yourself, right, Bill? Yeah. So okay. I loved. I mean, this wasn't just a game where the Blues, eked out a 4-2 win. This wasn't a game where the Blues, got away with one. The Blues earned this victory. They outplayed Boston, outshot them 38-23, which was very similar to the stats from game 2 when they won, as far as shots on goal goes. Had the edge in the faceoff dot. Both teams were 0-for-0 on the power play. Only took 2 penalties this game. So that's
the key right there.
Yeah. Yep. Message received from Berube apparently, and maybe the officials as well, since Berube kind of was publicly annoyed with the amount of calls going against us. So I didn't notice. I thought the game was pretty fairly called, I guess. I didn't notice too much that was.
Yeah, I go back to the play where I don't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. Somebody was yanking on Petro's jersey at the end of towards the middle of the third. There was a play in the blue zone, and a couple guys got involved. I think it was Sanford and Pietrangelo got involved with a couple of the Bruins. I could be wrong on that, but I know at one point we saw the guy. We saw somebody yanking on Pietrangelo, and Pietrangelo had his arms up like, what the hell? Where's the call? And I remember being mad at first. Like, what the hell? How are you not calling that? But then I saw the replay, and I thought, they're letting it go a little bit this game. They're not calling the ticky-tack bullshit, and they're not calling the Blues on stupid shit. The Bruins are getting away with just as much as the Blues are. And I thought, I prefer this over what we've seen in the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, I agree completely. Nobody wants to see the officials just constantly sending people to the box, especially the Blues are either way, because we talked about that they lose momentum on the power play, and they have allowed a lot of power play goals this series. So any special teams play whatsoever is not welcome as far as I'm concerned right now for the Blues. Let's see. Charlie Coyle scored later in the first 13-14 mark. His in the first period to tied at 1. I'm trying to recall this goal.
The Charlie Coyle goal, that was
Chara pinched down the boards, and he beat I forget who it was that he beat down the boards, but flew by the Blues defenseman, threw the puck on net. Bennington kicked out a rebound. Coyle was quick to swoop in, kick it to his stick, and buried it to the back.
Yeah,
right in front of us.
Yeah, it was really. I thought it was a good goal by Boston. I mean, that was just I'm trying to look and see where the Blues could have. That was just a good play.
It was a good play, but I think it was Parayko and Bouwmeester that were out there.
Parayko and Bouwmeester were out there, and Sanford got beat. Sanford had a guy in the corner.
Yeah, I thought there was a little bit of blown coverage there, but yeah, overall that's a good Boston Bruins goal.
Yeah, Schwartz was in the corner where Coyle came out of. Coyle swooped him kind of behind him and tucked it in. Yeah, and
I put this in the group chat, but 20 seconds before that, Sanford had a pretty egregious turnover. I mean, I had sight lines on it, and he had options on either wing, and then just tried to throw it right in our zone, and that was it. So that was the one play that I will say Sanford.
It was kind of a broken play too. At first, up high in the zone. You're kind of breaking up, Bill. It was kind of a broken play because Shen and Parayko came together and took out the Boston player, and then the puck came to Chara. Luckily for Boston, and then he carried it into the zone and then threw it back to threw it on net, and then Coyle got the rebound. So.
Yeah, the puck sure came to Chara later too, didn't it?
Oh, it did. It they're not sure about his availability for the next game either. So
yeah, Bill, could you notice that Chara did not play in that third period?
Yeah, I saw him take one shift, and that was about it. I mean, where we were, they Julie was kind of grossed out by when they skated off with the shovel full of bloody snow, because it was pretty heavy volume of blood in there, and probably a few chiclets.
Yeah.
Would you say they were loose chiclets?
Yeah, loose chiclets. Nice.
Yeah, completely loose. Yeah.
No, that was bad. I mean, it's funny because, when that happens, and I have a friend that was at Ballpark Village, and he said that he was disgusted by Blues fans because they were cheering when that happened. And, it's not in good taste. I agree. But I'll admit at the same time, when it happened, the first thought in my head is, hey, get Chara out of this game is not a bad thing for the Blues. I mean, you definitely don't want to see something like that, especially to somebody who's as big of a star as Zdeno Chara is for this game. And but yeah, at the end of the day, that's a win for the Blues if he's taken out of the lineup. So let's see what happens for game 5.
Yeah, you got Chara question mark. Coyle or not Coyle, McAvoy took the puck off the inside of the knee at the end of the last game. So we're starting to pound their D like we did against San Jose.
Man, you got that Nordstrom has been having a lot of blocks, and some of them I'm like, how is he getting up after that? So he's got to be banged up too.
Blocked another Parayko shot in the third.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. I every time I see him do that, I'm like, good, shoot it more. make him pay for blocking the shot. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
Blues go up 2-1 on Tarasenko's goal. This was Schwartz made this play. Schwartz allowed that pass to come through the middle by stick lifting Clifton. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So the puck. I can't remember. I can't see who passes that. Is it? Shen. Shen passes it to. It's supposed to go to Schwartz, but he doesn't have a play on his covered, so he stick lifts Clifton. The puck goes to the point to Pietrangelo, who then does the toe drag and shoots, and then Tarasenko gets the rebound and scores. Big, huge goal in the first period.
Yeah, that was
Pass off pads.
man. That was that the one that hit his blocker.
That was it. Hit. It was his pad, or his blocker was on the ice too. No, I think it was his pad.
Okay.
I think it was his pad. I think.
Yeah, that was a massive goal. I mean, to oh God, that was just. I mean, and the beauty on that play was just Tarasenko going to the net. I mean, that's what you want to see from him, and he's been coming up big this playoff. This series specifically, he's looked good.
Yep, taking a lead into the second period was. Let's see who got the next goal. Boston got the next goal. Boston got it from
the shorthanded goal. Yeah, we already talked about.
Yeah, that was a shorty. That I don't want to relive that thing again. God,
just bad all around.
Yeah. Well,
then the next goal.
Well, and the people at the bar were kind of initially complaining about Binnington on this play. I don't agree with that at all. And he damn near made that glove save.
Right.
He got it. He got a piece of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
God. I think right now you're seeing a lot of people just piling on Binnington. Like I think it was either Strickland or Korak tweeted out horrible rebound control on the Charlie Coyle goal. But I mean, it was a snapshot, from the corner by Chara. And a great play to go skate to stick by Coyle, so don't give me that.
Bill, how do you think Binnington rebounded after last game?
He looked at, there were one or two times I thought, like just pucks that got into him that he typically would, like you wouldn't see the puck again, that kind of leaked down to the ice. There was one that you could clearly see. It was at the opposite end of the ice, but I could see it get behind him, and I forget who it was, Dunn or Barbashev, I want to say, that got in and got the puck back between his pads. But, overall, I thought he came out and he was confident. He made the saves he needed to make. His glove was, back to where it needed to be, was tracking pucks good early. Like you said, he almost got the Carlo goal just off the tip of the glove. And then, he really wasn't, nothing huge that he had to come up with the rest of the way. So credit to the defense. But I thought he rebounded well enough to get us this win.
Yeah, the Carlo goal notwithstanding, I do think that his rebound control was a little off tonight. It wasn't as good as we've seen. I think it was the Bacchus play where Pietrangelo basically reverse DDT'd him in the third period, which was beautiful, by the way. But when that happened, I think it was that play where Binnington, it was just kind of a nothing shot, but he still kind of had the rebound pop out in front of him. Now he still covered it, but I think typically you see him jump on that right away. So I do think his rebound control was a little off tonight, but at the end of the day, like you said, he wasn't tested too much. Credit to the defense. They did their job, and I think overall he did his job. He did what he had to do and got the Blues the win.
Rask had that leaker behind him that just went wide. Under his
right.
He had
the power play chance for Boston right before they got their short-handed goal.
Right.
Yeah, that was again right in front of us. I thought for sure that was going in.
Yeah, that was a short-handed opportunity for the Blues.
Yeah.
So then Rask had the rebound on the rebound control, you could say, on Tarasenko and O'Reilly's goal, the second one.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't think I think people might be a little too harsh with the whole rebound control thing tonight. That's
Yeah.
GTF.
Well, and I'll tell you, it seemed like a lot of guys on either team were shooting the puck high and hard, trying to force those rebounds. And the puck is definitely bouncing in the the late spring warmth that St. Louis provided today. So.
Yeah, and that's definitely part of it too, because like you said, Kurt, Rask had a couple that. I mean, he was pretty good with his rebound control, but Yeah, there's a couple where you're like, normally I think Rask covers that. Maybe even the Pietrangelo or the O'Reilly goal, the second one that Pietrangelo shot off his blocker. I think maybe typically you see him cover that up, but it bounced right off his pads and went to right where the Blues needed it to.
And to be honest, I mean, I don't have a problem with the rebounds of either goalie. I mean, that they made the save in those situations, and especially on O'Reilly's goal, the second one, Boston's got two guys back. O'Reilly just kind of sneaks in there, and it's for all intents and purposes. I mean, Boston probably should clear this puck, but it just happens to go right to O'Reilly. I mean, he's just in the right spot at the right time. And to be honest, Pietrangelo looks. He looks before
he does.
Yes.
He carries into the zone, gets the pass across, carries in. Boston gives space, and Pietrangelo carried in, and they allowed him to walk in the top of the circle, and he let a shot go. But before he did, he looked, and he saw two Blues crashing, O'Reilly and Perron, and he let the shot go, hot blocker, and then they're there for the rebound.
I'll credit NBC's,
like I said, high and hard.
Yep. I'll credit NBC sports coverage at one time here because I normally we don't talk too good about them. Eddie O kind of called that out, that he's like he kind of ISOs Petro there. You see him look up before he does anything. Typically, maybe he just throws it at the net. Maybe he throws it into the corner where Perron was, but he looked up and he said, "Oh shit, these guys are crashing. I need to find a way to get this to the net." And not only that, thing I loved, and I sent this out on Twitter, thing I loved about what Petro did on that play, and again, we've talked on this show about he looks timid in the offensive zone way too often. He cradles the puck, he toe drags it in, and then he shoots it. And because if he doesn't do that, that puck is getting blocked, and quite possibly you're seeing a 2 or 3 on 1 the other way. And he made sure to get it around the sliding defender.
That was
Tarasenko's
goal.
Was it?
Yep. The O'Reilly's was a slap shot.
Oh, my bad. Okay, well, either way.
Point taken, though. It's the same thing. I mean, it's a different goal, but yeah, same point.
Yeah.
No, that was just, I think Petro looked so good in the offensive zone tonight. He did everything right in this game. And we normally don't say that about him.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm gonna have to jump off here in a second because we've already made it home, and I know I've got 3 crazy dogs here that we're gonna have to take care of. But just wanted to say what I thought during the once Boston pulled their goalie, the Blues did not sit back and let Boston come at them. The sequence that led to Schen's goal was they attacked the puck. Great turnover by Schenn at center ice to force it himself, get the empty net goal. He didn't miss. Just, I loved our seats tonight. We had awesome sight lines for so many of the plays, and God, you saw it. He didn't miss it, and what relief, what pandemonium in that building.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for being our reporter on the scene.
Let's go Blues. Next time I'll get some interviews. All right, catch you later, boys.
Yeah,
hey, buddy.
Bye.
And Bill's point about not sitting back, they didn't sit back before that even. I mean, they were pressuring about 5-6 minutes left. So they didn't let Boston come at them in waves, which was good to see because everybody's worried about that. Like, okay, we score with 9+ to go in the game. At what point are we going to sit back and let them come at us? And I saw they were only pushing one guy deep, which was fine, but that was semi-effective. I mean, they didn't let Boston keep coming at them. So
they didn't let passes get through the neutral zone, which was huge. Yeah. They were clogging that up. They weren't able to get the puck in and then chip it past the defenders. They were just stopping everything there in the neutral zone. And when the Blues play that kind of game, it's suffocating. It's hard for the other teams to beat them.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, the way that, oh man, I just kept thinking like, okay, the Blues are keeping it deep. They're going to keep it deep. And then, Bruins are going to get control here and turn it up and get some pressure. And we're all going to be having heart attacks for the last 2 minutes. That never really happened. I mean, it was phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, it was great to get the empty net goal early after they pulled Rask, because then you're not like holding your breath every shot.
Yep.
Oh God, that's just.
Well, I know we talked about this last game, and I know Bill mentioned the statistics show that there's a certain time now when teams are supposed to pull their goalie, and they were even talking about on the broadcast tonight that you're starting to see it much earlier now. It used to be 1 minute, 1:15, you see the goalie get pulled. Now it's like 2 minutes, 2:30, and I guess because teams are probably more confident in their puck control. But I still don't like that. I feel like that is way too soon to be pulling your goalie, especially again. And this is a reverse from what I said on Thursday with the Blues pulling their goalie in, I think it was game 1. The Blues weren't getting any pressure in that game. So I'm like, and I know you kind of reversed it on me, but I was just, I'm like, if your players don't seem confident in getting puck control on these guys, why even pull your goalie that early? And I felt the same way with Boston in this game. Boston was getting outworked, outmatched. They were getting beaten to all the loose pucks. And I'm like, man, why are they pulling their goalie right now? And then on top of that,
they pulled him with it was about 1:50. It was under 2 minutes to go, just under 2 minutes.
I thought it was over 2 minutes.
I thought they pulled him with just under 2 minutes, and we scored like 20 seconds later or something like that.
Well, maybe you're right, but still, I feel like that was still too soon because when you look at the
right, no, they didn't.
When you look at the control too, and this is something else I don't like when teams do it. They basically just get it to the red line, shoot it in, and then that's when they pull the goalie. If I'm a coach, I mean, when I coach, this is what I stressed: get control in the zone first, and then we'll pull the goalie. Because all they did was they shot it in. Blues got it right back out, and eventually it goes in the empty net.
I'm not against teams pulling the goalie because it used to be, like we said, it used to be a minute-ish, a little bit over a minute, and you pull the goalie when you get in the offensive zone. But now it's more than that. But I don't have a problem with pulling 2 minutes or so. But again, like you said, it does depend on how the game is going. I guess if you're if you've got a lot of offensive zone pressure, then pull them earlier because then I guess if you got, and it depends when you get an offensive zone faceoff too. If you got a O-zone faceoff with 2:15 to go and you're down by 1, situation for you, Jeff, which I guess is similar to last game. O-zone face or 2 games ago, was it? Whatever. O-zone faceoff. 2:15 to go. Do you pull the goalie if you're down by 1?
2:15 to go. O-zone face-off. Typically, I would say yes. Just because, I mean, if you get the win, you probably can get some control there, and if you get the loss, you can still possibly get someone into forecheck and keep the puck in. Yeah, I probably would. And I like sound Scuba. Sorry, the guy in our chat that we call Scuba. He says, JP, I agree, get control and pull him in a flow of the play. And that's kind of where my point is too, is, if you're just getting to the red line, dumping it in and pulling him, the play's not really going in your favor at that point. If that's all you're doing to get the puck in, you need to get control, or even like you just said, get a face off to where you can easily, if you win, you get the control.
I think it depends somewhat too on how the game's going. Like if you're having, like I said last time we talked about this, that if you're having trouble gaining possession in the O-zone, you could pull the goalie and the extra attacker kind of hangs back a little bit, and then you press more guys, another extra guy forward to try and crash and keep that puck in too. So there's a couple schools of thought with it, and I agree that. Scuba also said that Patrick Waugh started this crap with his advanced analytics. He did. He was the guy that started pulling the goalie at like 3 minutes to go. Sometimes.
Well, if you want to get into it, I mean, Mike Keaton was pulling the goalie in the second period back in the day.
Yeah.
1 minute left. O-zone face-off, second period, down by 1. Let's pull the goalie.
Remember when coaches started pulling the goalie with like 3 and 4 seconds to go in the offensive zone? To get an extra attacker to get a quick shot on net.
Yeah.
And remember, there was a Blues game where Quinville pulled, I don't know who it was, Turek or whoever, but there was about 4 seconds to go.
Yeah,
and
I remember this.
The Blues lost the face-off. Other team shot the puck down the ice, missed the goal, would have counted.
Yep.
But they missed the goal. And
that was in overtime too.
Was it in
I
overtime?
want to say it was overtime game 3 against the Stars because it went to 2 OT, and that was when I think Corey Stillman won it. Maybe Mellenby.
I can't remember. I don't remember if it was. Okay.
I want to say that's what it was because
Yep.
it was either overtime or third period. Because I remember even Ken Wilson going, "Whoa! I don't think Quinville's going to do that again."
Yeah, I know. And I was wondering too. I'm like, I don't think he's ever going to pull the goal away. And I think that I mean, now you still see it with a couple seconds to go, 3 seconds to go, but 4 seconds is pushing it.
Yeah, 4 or 5 seconds. I mean, you can get the puck down ice real easy at that time.
You win it clean.
If you win it clean.
Yep.
Oh man, no, it's I mean, listen, pulling the goalie, it's statistically, coaches aren't just doing this willy-nilly. Statistically, it does work. It gives you a little bit of an edge, but I just don't agree with the way some of these coaches do it. And hey, you know what though, Cassidy, go ahead and pull your goalie as many times as you want because it seems like the Blues are finally able to start capitalizing on the empty net again. Because man, that was a hell of a play by everyone involved on the ice to get that empty net.
It really was, and like I said, it was nice to get it early.
Yeah, because it was a sigh of relief. I mean, I was still pacing until the game clock hit 0, but I mean, it was literally a sigh of relief. The minute that puck goes in the net, I'm just like, oh, thank God.
Our best players, quote quote, were our best players tonight. Shen had a goal. O'Reilly had 2. Tarasenko had 1. So that's that. I mean, we are the whole thumbprint for the Blues these playoffs has been the depth and the depth scoring and whatnot. And today, while we got, well, it was a very good team game, depth game, production wise, the scoring came from our top guys. So that was good to see. Especially
when you talk about the top guys, it's not just the scoring. I thought Parayko and Pietrangelo had 2 outstanding games as well.
Yep. And Sanford had a big assist on that first goal.
Yeah, he did.
God, I mean, I mean, 2 games now he's got 2 big assists. I mean, last game that we got blown out, but it was a
big goal at the time though. I mean, they needed that goal when that goal was scored.
They did. So it's been and Pietrangelo gets a couple assists. So not only played well, but got a couple assists. Done. First game, man, gets an assist on the first goal too. So, just a lot of good things to feel, a lot of things to feel good about after this game. Because I mean, you could say one thing about okay, Blues won, but Dunn didn't look too good. No, he looked fine. Had a good assist, and like you mentioned earlier, I think I don't know. I can't remember if you said if you were surprised. I'm surprised at Sanford the way he's playing.
I'm not. No, I didn't say I was, but I am.
Pleasantly surprised because I think a lot of people were in agreement, and I think you and I said the same thing, that we expected to see McEachern in the lineup instead of Sanford, right? So that was when I saw Sanford was in the lineup, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, but he's been good.
Yeah, and I said earlier, I think, well, you and I used to talk about when the season started and when they called him up at first, we both used to say this exact quote. Have we mentioned that we love Sanford's game?
Right.
But then it just kind of trailed off, and it was like, okay, he's a 4th line guy that you can't rely on for any depth scoring. But now that he's sat a couple games, he looks like the guy that we saw when they first called him up at the start of the year. So if he can continue to play this way for 2 to 3 more games, I mean, that's exactly what you need. And he's working his way to becoming a mainstay on this roster.
Fresh bodies, fresh legs. Yeah. I mean, you're right. We did say that. I mean, and I liked his game. I thought he had a lot of upside. Young player, but it didn't pan out the way it was supposed to this season with him. So, but who cares right now? It's working good now.
No, and that's what I was always saying, and I think you guys agreed when people were talking about making a change going into the playoffs. Take out Sanford, put in player XYZ. Yeah. Well, they're winning, so you're not going to make that change. Right. But when they took him out, they had to. They were winning, so what's the point? But then they put him back in, and all of a sudden, he looks like the guy we know he can be. So hopefully that trend continues for just a couple more games. We got a couple good comments here. Bob Rakowski says Sanford playing for his dad. Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Sanford lost his father earlier this year. Pareko not showing up. This is also from Bob Rakowski. Pareko not showing up on the scoreboard, but he's leaving his mark on players. We agree.
He's going to win a Norris Trophy.
Oh, he will
Yeah.
one day. I mean, especially the way he has had a. I think he's obviously we all think he's played well his entire career so far. This playoff, and correct me if you disagree, this has been his coming out party.
Yeah.
This has been, hey NHL, I am an elite defenseman, and I can match up with anybody on the ice.
Remember the push from the Loungers wanting him traded?
Oh my God. The
Last
talk
season?
last summer, that was driving me crazy.
I got idiots.
Yeah. They can't move him. They got to hold on him. You got to lock him up. That's a guy you keep on your roster.
I mean, if they were to have moved him, they would have gotten a lot for him because he was a highly sought after 5-tool player. So,
yep, and he still is. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he still gets inquiries this summer, and maybe there is just a deal that just blows the Blues away that they can't say no to. But if the Blues are shopping him, that is stupid. Hopefully they're not.
I mean, I do not want to see him moved, but if they do move him, I would be very excited to see who we're getting in return because that's got to be some package coming our way.
You're talking elite level scorer, elite goalie. You can't get
Prospect.
much more elite on defense. So, yeah,
Good
it would be interesting to see what they would get. We got a couple other comments here. Scuba says, Colton Pareko stomped that big nose midget into the ground. I think we all know who he's talking about.
Yeah,
Blues. This is also from Scuba. Blues top lines laying on hits. Playing like Chiefs identity, old school hockey. Yep. Another good comment from him. Pareko looks like he stepped out of a comic book as a superhero.
he says CP. That's probably me.
Kurt Price. Right.
Talk about me.
Can't replace Kurt Price. He says that too.
Again, right? Thank you very much. Scuba.
Yeah, he's giving you a lot of love there.
God,
Scuba.
around me. They probably could.
Get a room.
Back in my day. Yeah. I'm a little old now, but back in the day, you never know.
I've seen those shootout skills.
Hey, well, you're welcome.
We got Rodney Metz says, any updates on Rob Tom? As far as I know, no. We haven't heard anything, right?
Well, no, haven't heard anything officially, but JR is hinting that he's probably done. Just because of in practice, he's not participating in drills. He's skating, but he's not doing really drills. He's not. His shots on net are just soft wristers. He hasn't really done anything. He's just skating around. So that, I mean, I wouldn't think he'd be skating around. Is he wearing a visor? I haven't seen if he's wearing a tinted visor.
I haven't seen. I
don't think he is. But so that would say not a concussion to me. But so maybe, and speculation was a wrist.
Yeah.
So maybe it is his wrist because the shots he's taking isn't.
That's what I'm thinking. Fractured wrist, maybe I don't know, some kind of contusion to the wrist. I'm not sure what it would be, but yeah, that's my original thought.
But based on JR said, based on the way he's taking part in practice, he is, he gets the impression that he's not going to return this series.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Scuba asked Chara on NHL protocol. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it's a matter of concussion. I think it's just a matter of. I think they just wanted him out there for moral support. Honestly, the only reason they brought him out there. Maybe we see him. I don't know. Maybe we see him in Game 5, but that looked like a pretty hard shot to take to the face.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder when he came back on the bench with the cage with the shield on, the full shield. I was like, okay, he had some damage done, and it'll be interesting to see how he takes a hit. And when I noticed that he didn't start the period. Like,
right.
Okay, that's interesting. He didn't start the period. That's weird. And then a couple minutes goes by, and then there was a penalty. Blues got power play. I'm like, he's not killing the penalty either. So I'm like, he's not playing this period. About 3 minutes goes by, he hadn't taken a shift. I'm like, he's not playing. Why have him out here if he's not going to play to start the period? The longer it goes, he's not going to play to finish the period.
Right.
So, and he's not going to kill a penalty or on the power plays. He's not playing. And
he was out there strictly for moral support.
Moral support, maybe in an emergency type situation where, they have to play him. I don't know. But
see, I was thinking maybe power play, because you got to figure maybe you throw him out there on the point, and the minute the power play ends, you take him right back off because he's there for the shot. And you got to figure he's not going to take a lot of pressure from somebody in the boards or something. But yeah, they didn't even risk that. So I'm not sure why you would roll him out there in the game at all. But I don't know. Like I said, I think when we saw the shot of him, if you were watching the feed on NBC Sports, he was kind of just up on the bench, just tapping everybody on the shin pads after the O'Reilly goal and saying, "Let's go, guys." I think that's the pure reason he was out there.
You'll see guys return to the bench in the playoffs and not play another shift. That happens. It happened with Thomas.
Yeah.
In that game. Well, he played a couple more shifts, but he didn't. But that was it. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if his status for the rest of the series, because that's big if he's out.
Yeah.
Even though he's 42, is that what it is? He's 42. He's still a key cog in their defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster. He's a big guy. He's got a long wingspan. I mean, he doesn't have the speed, but man, he doesn't get burned often. Let's see. We got Scuba asking who else are the Bruins missing. Well, we got Grizzlick. He was the guy that got hurt in the Sundqvist check. Scuba says they're also missing key D-man, maybe Miller. Kevin Miller, right? He's one of their defensemen.
Look at
Vamp.
He's not. He didn't play tonight.
I was going to say, he's been hurt for a while, I think. If he's still on the roster. I actually forgot he was on their roster.
I don't think he is. Let me see.
He might not be. I know the Blues had him in my NHL 18 sim.
Let me look it up here.
Kevin Miller is, he's on the roster.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
Not listed as injury reserve, so maybe he is just a healthy scratch.
Okay. He's only played 12 games. I'm sorry.
Well, he might be hurt.
He's played no games in the playoffs this year.
Okay. Well,
he's got his playoff stats end at 17-18.
The only player they have listed on the injury reserve looks like Grizzlick. So that's it's hard to tell. Playoffs, it's hard to tell.
So no
Grizzlick.
Grizzlick.
Don't release that.
No Grizzlick and maybe no Chara.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It was reported, this from Rodney Metz in our chat. It was reported Chara was advised not to return. So, like you said, Kurt, we saw Robert Thomas do this. He returned to the bench but didn't play. I think that's probably the case. They just said, Chara, we can't put you out there, but if you're up for it, we'll give you some pain meds, get back on the bench and be out there for the guys.
The Bruins top line, the perfection line, if you have Marchand and Bergeron and Pasternak, 2 assists tonight. So they had, and it was on the 1 goal, on Carlo's goal. So they were held goalless, I guess that line was. So that's good. I think I was curious to see how that was going to play out tonight after they kind of broke out last night. I had a conversation with a Boston fan on Twitter who said, "Look out now! The perfection line is woken up." And I'm like, "Yeah, they woke up last game. Doesn't mean they're going to do it this game. I mean, it's you take things from game to game. We'll see what happens." And they didn't do a whole lot tonight. I mean, production wise, didn't do a whole lot tonight. So
it's it's easy to take a 5-game, 6-game span in the regular season and say, "Oh, this line's killing it. They've got 15 points in their last 4 games," but that kind of trend, you don't always see it translate in the playoffs. You're not having 5-4 games. You're not seeing these games where this one line is just carrying the team. It's always about getting your players that are your good players to remain to be your good players, but also getting depth. So, for people to say the perfection line is woken up, what do you think? They're going to have another 7-goal game? That's highly unlikely.
This guy was one of those homer toolbox guys. He just, aside from, so they broke out last game, had a very nice last game, a lot of points. I get it. But in game 1 and 2, 1 assist and the empty net goal, which you can throw out the window. So 1 assist and then 2 assists tonight. So three assists in 3 games, aside from games 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah,
and
that's
team
true.
goal. So I mean that's 3 out of the 4 games they're held goalless against a goalie.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
That's a nice little nugget to have and something to look forward into in game 5 in Boston.
So, it's easy for us to sit here and be excited about tonight. And I'll admit, typically, if we weren't doing this show tonight, Kurt, I would probably still be celebrating right now. But since we're doing this show and we have to act somewhat professional, let's talk a little bit about Game 5. What do you expect? Do you see a perfection line, quote unquote, waking up again, or do you think that the Blues are going to continue what we saw in Game 4?
This is tough because basically the scenario is playing out kind of like last series, right? So 2-1, Blues tied up at 2, and then it goes back to Boston, like it went back to San Jose. The Blues won in San Jose, and then they came back home and won and closed the series out in 6. So they won 3 straight against San Jose. Are they going to win 3 straight against Boston? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm nervous about this next game, to be honest. I'm because the series is going back and forth. So I guess the question is, do I want to wager on this game like I wagered on games 2 and 4? They won both games I wagered on. So I am not excited to wager on Game 5 right now. I can just see this being a back and forth series, and I can see Boston coming out better in Game 5. However, they don't have Chara. So, I mean, I think that's going to, I don't know who they're going to plug in defensively. I'm not up on Boston's defense. Who they got next man up as far as that goes?
Oh, goodness. Let me see. Probably, Steve Camphor, Jeremy Lawson. Some of these guys I haven't even heard of.
Yeah, I know, right?
Urho Vakanainen. Jakob Ziboril.
Not going to work here anymore.
I would think, just judging by the names and what I know of this team, I would think Jakob Ziboril, I think that's how you say his name. I think he would be up next. But I could be wrong.
So he's no Chara. But maybe Chara plays. But based on the fact he didn't, what we know, Thomas didn't play much after his hit from Krug in Game 1, and hasn't played since. It wouldn't be shocking to see Chara miss. Dunn missed a handful of games after getting hit in the mouth with a puck. So, the same thing could very well happen to Chara. So we shall see. Obviously, it benefits the Blues for Chara to be out. And I don't want to wish an injury on people. But I'm not going to say I'll be sad. I won't be sad to see him not play in Game 5.
Let's word this in a very nice way, Kurt. Let's just say that we really appreciate what Zdeno Chara has done for this game, and we want to make sure that he's as healthy as possible. So just go ahead and not let him play Game 5. Rest up for next season.
Sure, yeah. And he's won a cup already, so he's already won a cup. He's had his day in the sun, so he's not missing out on something he hasn't done before.
That's right. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm thinking, and man, I hate these 2-day breaks. Somebody just mentioned in this chat here, Bob Rakowski again, winner of the Bernie Federko giveaway earlier this year. We actually gave away Bernie Federko on the show. No, I worded that incorrectly. Bernie Federko book. Bob says these 2-day travel breaks kind of kill momentum. Yes, they are definitely. Actually, somebody want to mention this real quick. Rappapap says it'll be Camphor that will come in for Chara. So a little bit of NHL experience there, so we'll see. But anyway, the 2-day breaks, man. Obviously, they want to do this. I think I understand it. They're trying to do it to win. It's not on the nights of the NBA final, for one. And two, I think they're doing it. Sorry. My screen is going haywire.
Yeah.
I think they're also doing it because they are trying to get as many weekend games in as possible. For whatever reason, ratings are higher. I think advertising is a little more expensive for weekend sports. So I think that's why they want more weekend games. But yeah, these 2-day breaks, I mean, as a fan, it drives me crazy. I can only imagine what it's like for a player.
Yeah. Well, the last 2-day break we lost the next game.
Yeah.
So there's that. And it came after us winning. So the 2-day break didn't hindsight being that it didn't do us any favors, it didn't help us any. Maybe it will this time. I don't know. God, it'd be nice to get Thomas back, God, but I don't think it's going to happen. Such a big part of that depth on this team.
Yeah.
Would
you trade a Thomas for a Chara?
Yeah.
Not like literally trade, but
like out of the lineup. Yeah, I would, because I think we have a lot of depth. But I mean, Chara's their captain, and that kind of takes emotionally. That's got to do something.
Yeah. I think that's why he was out there on the bench.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's such a big locker room guy, and everybody loves him and listens to him.
And he's good. He's still good. He's a good player.
He's still a good player. Yeah.
I got people on Twitter telling me to let it ride. my winnings on Game 5.
Why not?
It's. I mean, I didn't bet a lot. I like I said, I logged into my Bovada account and I had like $13 in there the other day. And so I decided, I didn't realize I had that in there. I'll bet on the Blues to win in Game 2. And they won. So ended up like $30-some. Okay. And then I didn't bet on Game 3 and they lost. So I decided to bet, I'll bet on Game 4, see what happens. Because I felt good about Game 4. And so I bet 20 on the Blues to win, and then 5 for them to win by 2. And the 5 paid off for $35. And I about double my money on the Blues, almost, just winning. So that's like $80-some in the account now. So that ride, that's gonna, I could be that's Disney money right there.
There you go.
Because I will be in Disney. I'll be leaving early Wednesday morning.
Buy yourself some Star Wars garb.
Jesus, I'm going to be down there for games 5 and 6. And if it goes 7, which it very well could go 7, I will be home for that game. But 5 and 6.
So you'll be home. Was that Sunday? Tuesday?
I don't know what day it is.
I think that's Tuesday. When are you coming home?
The 5th. I'm gone the 5th through. I'll be back on the 11th. Late on the 11th. Like almost the 12th.
Okay. Well, the 12th isn't. What was
the 12th? The 12th is Game 7.
Oh boy.
So yeah.
Well, I don't know. You get some internet on your flight. Maybe we can do a show before Game 7.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe I can call in, or maybe we can just do a pregame show. I don't know. No, I'm just making shit up. We'll figure it out.
We could definitely do maybe even a Sunday show if you're up for it. Doing it live from Florida.
Yeah, if I have time. Good Lord, it's like an itinerary is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to do there. You ever been there before?
No, yeah, I have. I mean, back in like 95 or 6, something like that.
Yeah, there's plenty to do. I was there a couple of years ago. A lot of fun. We went right at the end of April, and I remember that was 2013. The Blues were in the playoffs. It was the first round, so we had to catch both. There was 2 games that I had to watch while I was there, and I remember everybody giving me trouble, and I'm like, I'm not the one that scheduled it. My wife did and surprised me with it for my birthday, and I'm like, the first thing I said to her was, well, it's probably playoff time, honey.
Yep.
And of course, I was greeted with that's the first thing you think of when I surprise you with the trip to Disney World?
It's the first thing I think of every time it's scheduled in the summertime. I'm like, is it after the playoffs will be over? Every single fucking time.
Yep. That was my dad's stipulation with us growing up. Anything we wanted to do had to be in late June through September.
Scuba in the YouTube chat asks, Conn Smythe favorites so far.
Oof. Well,
Yeah,
for both
it-
sides, Boston, it's Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, easily.
Man, for the Blues,
That's a good question for the Blues. I'm thinking
it would have been Schwartz, but he's cooled off again.
maybe O'Reilly, maybe Pareko.
Pareko is one that
Yeah,
stands out to me.
Pareko's the. Just as far as like overall play, I think it's him easily.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen. I mean, shit, the year Chris Pronger took the Oilers and then took the Flyers to the final, the rumor was he would have won the Conn Smythe if his team would have won.
Yep.
And it wasn't even because of points. So it's,
Yep.
hey, defenseman Scott Stevens won it a couple times. Granted, a little bit of that was leadership. But yeah, I think you could totally see Pareko winning that.
And I think with the Blues' depth, I think that they've gotten relatively balanced scoring. I think in this series so far, but
Man, that is a tough question.
It is because the forwards are kind of, and there's a few forwards you think of that have played well, but it's like, is one any better than the other? And
well, and I've talked to a friend of mine who covers the Devils, and I asked him once, all the years that they won, who was one of the better players, and he said Scott Stevens. And the reason I say that is because it's hard to just pick one guy from those teams outside of Martin Brodeur, who was a good skater for them. And he said Stevens is the default because he was the captain. So you got to wonder if some of that might go to Pietrangelo.
yeah, you know what though? I mean, Tarasenko has 5 points now in the first 4 games.
Yeah,
he's got 3 goals, 2 assists.
And I think with him having the name, the superstar status, it definitely rises him above as somebody who could get that too. When you look at the point leaders for the Blues, Schwartz is still number 1, tied with O'Reilly for the team lead at 18. And then Tarasenko is right behind him. He's got 16. And then for goals, it's Schwartz with 12, but 2 of those have been hat tricks. And Tarasenko's had 11.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking more on the final here. I guess that's what as far as like.
Yeah, I mean, it is. What have you done for me lately? I guess.
Yeah, true.
But I do think a lot of people take into consideration the whole play.
Oh no, I agree. And so Schwartz is up there, obviously.
Yeah,
Schwartz, O'Reilly, Tarasenko is close. But Pareko, that's a really good question.
I don't know who. I mean, another default pick is probably Binnington, just because he's been in goal the whole time. But he's definitely had his rough games too.
Yeah, I mean, and like we've all talked about, a lot of his poor stat games, a lot of that stuff's not his fault either. But to be honest, okay. So look, his save percentage in game 1 against Boston, 919. Game 2, 913. Game 3 was a bad one, 737. But again, like that was not on him all completely. And then today was 913.
Scuba adds Scotty Gomez, Eliash. They had skaters. Yeah, they did. But I think again, what my buddy was trying to say is that those guys kind of canceled each other out. You had so many players that could play that it was easy for them to just say, well, let's just give it to the captain, because every one of these guys could make a case for it. And let's see, we've got Tarasenko is what Rodney Metz says. Let's see, Scoob, I guess he's talking about the Devils. The one guy who played for the Blues, name escapes me. From those Devils teams, Scott Stevens is the one that I'm thinking of.
Scuba says Allen looked good.
Allen did look good.
He allowed a goal. How many shots did he face? Not a
lot. 2, 3.
He didn't play enough for me to judge how good he looked.
He had 4 shots against.
4 shots, 1 goal against.
Well, and then he had the one on the bench, so that's 5.
Right. Yeah. I don't think he played good enough for me to even judge how he played. I was
gonna say, I think he's joking.
No, I get that. I thought we were just gonna, yeah. I mean, if I had to say, in his 4 shots, how do you look?
Former Devil signed with Blues, big body. Oh, he's probably Jason Arnott is probably who you're thinking of. Jamie Langenbrunner could be mixed in there too. Anyway, well, Kurt, anything else from us?
I don't think so. I'm excited about Game 5. I'll be watching from Florida, ESPN Zone or wherever the hell it's called, or somewhere down there. I don't know. At worst, the hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to get it anywhere, but the kids are going to want the Mickey Mouse channel on at all times in the hotel room.
No, my daughter will want to watch hockey with me. She's already said she wants to talk with me, even though that the game is going to be during the fireworks portion of the evening, which I've made it known that I'll be watching the Blues game at that point. I will not be watching fireworks. That would drive me bananas. So
Teresa, she's into the Blues too, right? Isn't she going to watch them too?
Particularly, no, she's not. No.
Really?
Not really. No. I mean, she's not.
Well, then
really.
Screw her.
I mean, I'm sure she wants the Blues to win, but she doesn't care to necessarily watch it. So yeah, we'll see. I'll be watching it from Florida. So,
well, that'll be interesting. Good luck to you. Safe Florida travels.
Yep.
Happy flight.
Yeah, we couldn't have taken this vacation next week.
Yep.
Or 10 days.
That's killer, man. It would be hard for me to leave the city right now.
I mean, I don't want to.
Well, best of luck to you. Folks, don't worry. Let's Go Blues Radio. We will still have a show next week. We don't know when yet. Might be without Kurt. Depends on if we have a Game 7. But either way, it will either be a season wrap-up or it will be a Game 7 preview. So we will see.
Hopefully it's a celebration show.
Yeah, like we said last week, if the way that show goes, it's going to be hard to tell when we'll all three be able to get together for it, one, and two, how sober will we be?
Well, I think should the moment happen, where the Blues do actually clinch the cup, I do believe that the cell phone videos need to be going to capture the moment and we'll just kind of compare them all. Wherever we are, just start recording stuff.
I actually will be a lame former reporter and probably actually get some interviews with some random people just to get the feel and be able to post that audio, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
All right. I guess that will do it for this post-game show episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Bill, thanks for joining us remotely. We enjoyed that take from on the scene in downtown St. Louis.
Well worth it.
After the Blues 4-2 victory versus the Boston Bruins, the hated Boston Bruins. Yep. I'm Kurt Price and Forge Up Under. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Sport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. A look at fourth. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice.